Hey, I'm Brent Leary.
Oh, yeah, and I'm Paul Greenberg, by the way.
Wow, that was you sounded like you were surprised to be Paul Greenberg there.
I always am surprised I'm Paul Greenberg.
Well, I'm not surprised to say that we are the CRM players, and I want to make sure I get this right. Wow, I was going to say we've been bringing the ass since 2009, but I didn't have my slide ready. Guess what? It's ready now.
Then we
And we've
are
been
bringing.
bringing the ass, and we are still bringing the ass despite all the, you know, heat, all the rain, all the other weather things going on. We will continue. We're like the mailmen. Nah, whether heat or cold or what, wet.
Wait, and when rain, sleet, snow, or hail,
Yeah, that.
the
We will
mail,
bring the ass through all of that stuff. You can
and
count on it.
tornadoes and hurricanes too. Well, maybe
Well,
not. Maybe
I don't
not
know about
tornadoes,
that.
hurricanes, or earthquakes.
Yeah, there was a show a couple years ago where I thought I was gonna have to like just pull the plug when I saw trees flying vertically or
Oh, thank God I don't see that because this is completely blocked out from light in here. I can't see anything.
all righty. And wow, once again, we're gonna this is becoming a trend.
It's an annual. Oh, Sahil. Hello, sir.
Sahil is kind of taking the moment of Sven away.
I
What's
know.
going on
Well,
with Sven?
Sven's problem.
Is it the summertime? Is there like a summer solstice for Sven there or something?
Well, I believe he told us he was in on vacation last time, but that's over. He does not have an excuse to not be here.
Well, we welcome anyone who shows up, and of course,
Always Sahil, he's special guest because he's showing up from uh, very unusual times of day.
yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, about 9.5 hours ahead of us, which is twelve
Makes it
thirty.
12:30 a.m.
Just he deserves
Oh,
something.
he deserves special props. Sahil.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. We got a really cool show ahead of us. But you notice something? You notice I have my color scheme a different color today?
You mean your which color scheme? You mean your lights or you mean your clothing color
Well,
scheme?
actually, I am sporting a brand new Rams
You
hat.
are, and that's I was going to bring that up as part of the clothing color scheme.
Yeah, it's the new season coming up. I have to, do my shopping and find stuff that is new. So yeah, this is a new. I like the color scheme. I really like the tan and the light
Looks
blue
really
kind of
good.
thing. Yeah, but I'm rocking the purple.
Yeah, well, that's Prince, man. I know
Well,
that.
there's a reason for that because as you mentioned, I was greeted by this email. Diamonds and Pearl remastered and expanded edition featuring 47
Holy
previously
cow!
unreleased tracks.
And
Previously unreleased 2+ hours of video concert performances from Prince Legendary Vault. And then they
holy,
asked a rather stupid question. You want more Prince music?
what do they know? They're so
Well, actually,
silly.
maybe it was smart because they put the pre-order now button right after that dumb question. And what did I do?
I
Well,
can't imagine.
I clicked it. Well, guess who's already pre-ordered? And they have
So
levels. They've got like from like
level.
regular to super deluxe. Like the super deluxe is 12 vinyl albums and a like that 2 hour video concert all on Blu-ray disc, which I don't even have one of those anymore. But guess who
Blu-
bought it?
Wait. You bought Blu-ray without having a Blu-ray player?
I'll
Good
figure it
work.
out later.
Well, I mean, nobody even. That means, wow.
Yeah. So I did the super deluxe offer, which cost me, I think, $360. And it doesn't come,
Wow.
it doesn't come until like October 25th or something. But
Oh,
you see, I did the pre-order as soon as possible because I got left out when they did re the re-offering of 1999. It was a limited edition, and for whatever reason, maybe I was traveling or something. I didn't see the notification. And by the time I went and tried to get it, sold out. I'm not ever letting that happen again. So I have already pre-ordered my diamonds and pearls. Although I already had it.
Well,
not that one, but
I was going to say that one has 47 unreleased tracks and 2+ hours of unreleased concert.
Yeah.
Holy God,
I can't
man.
wait. I just got my John Coltrane what was that, the Live at the Village Vanguard?
Yeah.
For they found, I don't know where they're finding all this. Well, I know Prince has a lot of stuff, but John Coltrane has been gone for over 50 years. This 56 years, and they're still finding like stuff, which is kind of cool.
It's amazing. I wonder if they found it in the vaults of the Village Vanguard.
I don't know. That was from 1961, so we're talking about 62 years ago. And they're finding it.
Amazing.
There's never, ever a shortage of ways to get my money. That's the way I look at it.
That's the way I look at it too.
Anyway, so we have a really cool show ahead. But we also have, let's see, something that we need to talk about for tomorrow. And I'll let you talk about this.
All right, people of the planet Earth. Tomorrow's the Gear Show, Up from the Rabbit Hole. That's our roughly monthly show, Fridays, normally at 2, this time at 1 p.m. Eastern, because we have an iconic guest tomorrow. We have Mr. Curtis Judge. As you can see from the picture, he is a nice man. You can see that, right? That he is a smart, intelligent, self-deprecating fellow. What he is, though, and this is according to the masters of sound and light on YouTube and the internet and the ones who are out there consulting and doing all this work, he is the master's master. This guy is the iconic guy when it comes to sound and lighting, and he is going to be here to talk sound and lighting for whatever kind of setup you have, for whatever kind of setup you aspire to, why it matters. And he knows, he knows that for the most part, most of you listening in are people who, let's just say, if somebody says Kelvin, you probably think it's Kelvin Winslow.
I have a cousin named Kelvin, by the way.
And you probably think it's the guy from, what was Kelvin Winslow's team?
Oh, Family Matters?
No, Kelvin Winslow.
I'm thinking of
Oakland
the
Raiders.
show, Family Matters with Urkel, and that the family was the Winslow family.
Okay, I'm thinking Kelvin, more the guy from the Oakland Raiders, right? He probably thinks that's what you think Kelvin is all about. This guy will do it in the way you want to hear it, and this is so worth your time, and it's going to be a master class in under an hour, but a master class in this, and this is a rare treat too. And again, you're going to meet one of the nicest, iconic, major brand guys, brands when it comes to sound and lighting you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I've watched a lot of his videos, and I really just want to say to his face, he owes me about $20,000 because
that's right.
I probably would have $20,000 additional dollars in my pocket
if it weren't for him on lighting and sound. Again, the master.
Michael Klein says he is stoked about the release of the restored 40-year anniversary of Talking Heads Stop Making. Is that the one with the Same as It Ever Was? Is that that one? It sounds like the right time frame. That was
Michael. Is Brent right about that?
Once in a lifetime. That one.
This isn't Stump the Godfather yet, is it?
No.
Okay, good.
This is just playing music. Music, anybody else got any 40-year, 50-year brand new stuff found that they're buying? Let us know. And I was right. See?
All right.
I had to be right at something.
The venerable Brent Leary.
You know what? This beard really does make me. it's probably time for us to get back on the road because, yeah, it's time for this beard. It's getting kind of gruff. Although, I don't mind it.
It's either that or just get a new razor.
I've got like several, but the problem is you have to actually use them. And
Oh, how silly.
yeah,
I use a Panasonic Arc 6. Just went to it. Awesome.
that sounds Panasonic.
Yeah, they're actually competitors in the electric razor world with Tebron and at the high end. And the Panasonic Arc 6 I just got it like last week. My Braun was 7 years old. It's time to change. And I will tell you, unbelievable how good this thing is.
Well, speaking of Panasonic.
What a segue. What a country.
Guess it's still here, folks. Yeah, there it is. The Lumix GH5 with the adjoining lens. I think probably cost me about $1,800 when I bought it a few years back. It's barely used. I really didn't use it much, but since we're always buying stuff, it's kind of hard to use everything that you bought. So we're giving stuff away. This is going to be the first of the Playaz giveaways. Once again, the rules. Stump the Godfather. Play today. When we ask the question, put your guess in the comments section. That automatically qualifies you. Now, we need to have enough people. I mean, I don't want to just have 2 people to choose from here. We need multiples of people. So if you are out there, and if you really want to up your game, if you're kind of still using the webcam thing, nothing wrong with that. But if you have an opportunity to win a free GH5, believe me, you're going to see the difference in the quality of your video. Everybody else is going to see the difference in the quality of your video. So all you have to do is when you hear us play see in here, us play Stump the Godfather. Notice I said stump, which is coming up in only a few minutes. Listen to the question, put your answer in the comments, and that enters you. Now, we're going to pick a winner. Not going to pick it today, but we will pick a winner. And the only thing that we need to stipulate is we can only ship it within the United States. That's the only thing that this is the first time we're doing a giveaway, and we don't want to introduce any complications, any additional complications. So we are sticking to the contiguous 48. Anything else?
Well, no, actually, we're okay shipping it to Alaska and Hawaii too. They are. It's not just the contiguous 48; it's the 50.
All right. I never
We're
did.
Good there. We're good there.
Alaska,
all 50 is okay.
A little too cold for me.
Sorry, we're not shipping it. Too cold.
Wait a minute. I heard they have a lot of Patriots fans up there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Massachusetts is not part of the U.S. as far as we're concerned.
Is it Boston, Nome, Alaska, or something like that?
That's what doesn't matter. We're not shipping to Massachusetts. It's a foreign country to us.
All right. So before we play the game, we did a happy hour, and you were taking you needed a little break, and so we did the happy hour, the typical kind of crowd. But one of the things that came up, okay, I brought it up. It's kind of hard to try to make it sound like it just organically came up, and like you're the one that brought it up. Yeah. So I don't know if you've been paying. I know you've been paying attention to this, but it felt like the whole tech world, maybe the whole financial tech world, has really been waiting for the NVIDIA earnings call to see. It's almost like NVIDIA is the bellwether for anything AI. And so all the reports and things, everything you heard, even on like CNBC, they were constantly waiting on the NVIDIA earnings report to kind of figure out where things stand with AI, generally speaking. Like if it didn't meet expectations, that was like the gloom and doom. And if it did, well, then it's AI is gonna go to the roof. So we were all talking about that on the happy hour, and we all kind of said, yeah, that everybody's looking out for it, but AI is already out the gate. But we still were interested in seeing what exactly the NVIDIA earnings were. Well, I'm just going to pop this chart, and I already shared it with you. So this is part of the NVIDIA. I know this. You know what? I get tired of these Apple products that have me going between different. I'm using my laptop touchpad, and it's moving on my Mac Mini. I hate that. All right. So here is the slide that blew me away, and I think it blew you away too.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's
all right. So, and this is what sent NVIDIA stock like going through the roof after hours. It's definitely calmed down since then. But just look, like you have pretty significant steady growth from Q1 2021, all the way through the Q4 2022. And then you see a pretty nice little bump up between Q4 22 and Q1 23 that takes it to 4.2 billion for that quarter. But look what happened in this past quarter. It more than doubled from one quarter to the next. Their revenue went up over 6 billion in one quarter, which 6 billion in a lot of companies, a lot of the enterprise companies that we talk about, they don't even make that much in a year. Some of them,
I know,
and they did that in one quarter. Isn't that crazy?
It's staggering. Well, the other thing that's staggering about all this is the incredible smarts that NVIDIA has in reinventing their public image as basically a high let's call it a heavy duty engine for graphics to an AI company, a heavy duty engine for AI, basically. That is not an easy transition, and they made it without even a blip. Actually, which is astonishing.
Yeah, and the other there's a bunch of charts, but one of the other charts was the revenue they got from gaming, and that's trending down. So all of their increases, all the momentum is strictly around how they're able to position their chips for the use of AI and Gen AI.
Smart. Yeah, I mean, look, Microsoft. Think about it. Microsoft repositioned itself from everything they've ever done to an AI company.
And just think about this. So this is basically like 140% quarter over quarter growth. I don't know what that makes, annually, but just think, if this quarter 3 is anything like quarter 1, we're talking about $20 billion in one quarter.
Yeah,
for something that used to be 4 billion.
If I'm guessing,
it can't go that far.
Right. I'm not thinking that's going to happen. Yeah, exactly. All about
the Benjamin.
Now they're all about the Benjamins.
Yeah, no, it's just, so the other thing, I was checking out the transcript, and one thing did catch my attention. You know what? It didn't have didn't do my slide with this stuff. Anyway, we'll just go back to that. So it mentioned this partnership that they have with Hugging Face, and how Hugging Face in this partnership is going to allow Hugging Face to really beef up AI training efforts. That was interesting because just the night before, the information had come out with this special report about how Hugging Face raised, several hundred million in new funding, and the lead investor was Salesforce. So we've got NVIDIA, we've got Hugging Face, we've got Salesforce. First of all, I wanted to ask you, is that the right icon for Hugging Face? Does that work for you?
No. That's like, I would call that waving face, get away face.
Well, I think they're trying to do the hug and the smile thing. So I kind of
the icon should look like this.
You know what? I think they should actually retain you and put
I
you on
agree.
a
I would.
strategic advisory
First thing
just
I
for the
do would
imagery.
be that would be out.
Yeah. I think they can probably beef it up now that they've got that $235 million in investment. Maybe get a better logo there.
Well, they can afford me now.
And we are open for sponsorships here at PPN. So
That's right.
we
Hugging face.
we
Plus,
kid
I've
because
got a T-shirt that says "Hug Dealer." So
wow, that's I don't know what to say about that. But
well, during COVID, that was a crime. Might as well have
yeah,
said drug dealer. I would have been better off. I would have been safer.
yeah, but all signs point towards this. The AI is an unstoppable. Gen AI too is a
Right.
unstoppable force at this point.
Yep.
And when you see, like the Nvidias and the Salesforces and Hugging Face community, and even earlier this year, remember we were talking about how ServiceNow has a partnership with Nvidia and
Yep.
all that. So it's really all different ways it's hitting the enterprise, and it's nonstop. It's not going to stop.
And Nvidia is right at the core.
Yeah.
They are the hardware core is them right now. So
they're like somebody. Actually, I saw this on a Seeking Alpha article. Somebody called them, and I don't want you to take offense to this, the godfather of AI.
That's not a company name.
I know. I've never heard a company named that.
You know what? That guy was obviously not a writer. He was a financial analyst. He clearly had no talent for writing.
I mean, none. I mean, that was pretty bad.
Yeah. I take no offense because it makes literally no sense. Right. So,
well, yeah, there's that. But so anyway, I thought that was interesting. All right. Now, you know what comes next, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, just brace yourself. Here comes Benny Hill.
And now it's time for Stump the Godfather with the venerable Paul Greenberg, brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot.
Man, why is it that I can never get enough of Benny?
Because he was funny.
I loved that show as a kid.
So did I.
I also love Stump the Godfather.
Oh, I thought that was the question.
No, I love Stump
Benny Hill. That's the answer.
Stump the Godfather, brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot. I sound like I'm a news anchor when I do that.
Or a baseball, because in baseball, and that's the third strikeout of the inning. And that third strikeout is brought to you by.
Right. Everything is brought to you by.
No. Oh, wow. That was the first walk. And the first walk is brought to you by blah, blah, bicycles. Right. So.
All right. Well, this is brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365.
By the way, got to tell you, it's actually a good product, too. I mean, as much as we joke about it, take a look at it, people who are out there who might want to consider a really, really valuable use of actual AI.
Yeah. Although I still think Wingman would have been.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway,
Copilot.
Here
Wingman
we go.
Works so much better.
Here we go.
Okay.
We all get it. It hasn't slowed down any. Remember when they were thinking that because all this social stuff, that email was going to like wither away and die and stuff like that? So today's Stump the Godfather question. How many emails are exchanged every day in these current times?
They actually said in current time?
They actually said in current time. I know. I was like, what are we talking about?
English as a second language.
Back in the prehistoric age? What do you think they're
sending it as a second language question?
It's like in current time. What I almost felt I did feel a little stupid in like I think we already know what we're talking about current times. But give me a guess. Give me a guess to how. I mean, do you want a hint? Do you need a hint or anything?
I mean, if you have one, I'll always take it.
Well, I don't know if you even need a hint, but it's a very substantial number.
Well, wait. If there are people who want to guess before I do, they should guess now. Also, if you're there and you want to put in a guess,
Yeah.
and that will enter you for the camera, do it now, because once I answer, your opportunity is done.
Wow, that was kind of harsh, but
Yeah.
right.
I'm tough.
I'm starting to take offense actually because it almost feels like nobody wants my camera, and I kind of like that.
Crazy.
And I won't take offense. I'll just keep.
Heel has an entry already.
All right,
from last
Heel's
week.
got one, 650 million.
Oh, I think it's way more than that.
Well, you want to take a guess?
Well, I'm waiting to see if someone else wants to put an answer in.
I don't know. Michael's out there. Michael, you want to take a guess? We'll give you a couple of seconds.
Give them count 5. We should do a Jeopardy countdown.
Either that or does The Price is Right have any music like that?
Not that I know of.
Didn't think so. All right. There he is.
There it is.
2.3 billion. Our guest in the green room, Colin Fleming. I see him in the green room.
He has a shot at it.
If you want to give us Pete Smith. He's coming in
billion.
hard and high.
Bob Salucci, 200 billion. Hey, Bob.
Billion. Okay.
Hey,
okay. Colin, if you want, you can put it in the private chat and we'll just read yours off if you want. Let us, just put it in there.
If you don't want the GH5 camera, Colin.
All right. I see a private chat entry. Colin Fleming is coming in at 300 billion. We're moving. The numbers went from 650 million to 300 billion. All right, that's a spread. That's a pretty big spread. And you have not. Did you give yours yet? You did give yours.
No, I did.
Oh, you haven't. All right. What you got? You got from 650 million to 300 billion. So
yeah, I'm closer to the 300 billion, but not that far. I am going this is every day, right? Not every hour.
Every day. In current times. That's the important phrase.
That's right.
In current time.
In current time. So does that mean the number I give has to be in current, like joules, Joules?
Let's not make
current,
it too hard.
Or it has to be in times.
Just do it like everybody else.
18 2 o'clocks.
No, just follow the everybody else's lead.
I am going with 173 billion.
173 billion every day.
Over 24 hours now.
Okay.
Across all time zones in the entire world.
We got
Not counting any alien emails.
Wow. I just got to tell you, Colin says in his inbox alone, there's 1 million. Now, when do we never get any? Anyway, all right. So, are you ready for the answer? Is everybody ready for the answer? All right. So, the answer to how many emails are exchanged every day in current times, gotta add that part, is. Guess who was the closest? Yeah, Colin is in the green room raising his hands in.
That's right, Colin. You're the closest.
In victory.
That is insane.
347.3 billion every day. That's like what, a half an email or a third of an email per each person or something in the world. What are we at? 8 billion now?
8 billion. That's more than.
Oh my God, what am I saying?
You're doing bad math. That's like 40,
your guess
45 emails per person every day.
Who the hell is let's see, am I spending that many? Am I sending my allotment? I don't think I'm sending my allotment.
That number, how is that number even vaguely accurate?
304. I can see. You know how many automated emails go out with email campaigns? Are you kidding me? I'm surprised it's actually not as big. It should be like a trillion or something. The many emails we get. Yeah. So, thank you, Sahil. 8 billion. So 8. Yeah. So we're talking
roughly 45 emails per day.
Yeah. Are you sending your 45?
45? No. God, no.
How many are okay. Oh, now you're really getting somewhere. All right.
The answer to that one is 45.
I have to admit, it's a huge number. That's a huge
crazy.
That is kind of crazy. But when you look at your email, apparently Colin hasn't.
I literally, you know what? If you look at my number, it was literally almost exactly half of that.
All right, so you get half.
I got the 12-hour total right.
You get half a credit.
I got the 12 I said 173. Multiply that times 2 is 346.
Okay, well, congratulations on your half right answer, I guess.
Oh, I'm always half right.
All right, did you like that one? I think you liked that one, didn't you?
Well, I didn't like the wording. I thought the wording was horrible.
You didn't like the in current times. That's the only
No,
part.
that was like that literally English as a second language wording.
All right. Well,
somebody translated that email. I mean, that question from
blame
some
Demand
other
Stage. They're the ones that did it. All right. So now we get to the point in the show.
You're not kidding, James. That actually would be a really. I wonder.
Oh, I don't even want to know. That's over $1 trillion.
Oh my, that would be something else.
All right. Well, speaking of something else, I now turn over the show to the venerable Paul Greenberg to introduce today's guest.
This is the third time I've done this introduction. If you can think about it, he's been on the show. This will be his third appearance. His name is Colin Fleming. Now, he's got his, EVP titles and all this, but at Salesforce. But what makes him amazing is that he is the force behind the Salesforce Plus initiative.
No, you should say he's the force behind the plus. How you like
the
that?
Force behind the plus? He is. Well, he actually is. And he actually is the creator and the driver. And I know he'll say, oh, I have a wonderful staff and all that. Everybody says that. But he is the force behind Salesforce Plus. And what Salesforce Plus is, for those of you who do not know, and shame on you if you don't, is actually Salesforce's network. It's their broadcasting network. They are one of the maybe 2 or 3 companies who have gone all in, and they, with HubSpot maybe, to really build out in a really creative way a full-blown digital broadcasting network. I'd say the other one is PPN, but different kind of thing. And the other thing with Colin is he's really articulate. He's a great guy, and he's a former Red Bull race car driver too. So this guy, he's got a really remarkable history. He's a really good person, and he is also, and this is critical, a driving force behind Salesforce Plus, which has been a highly successful digital broadcasting network driven and a pioneering visionary network as well. So let's bring the dude on. There he is. How you doing?
Hey, Brent. Hey, Paul. How's it going?
We're good.
Good to see you. You always look so calm and cool.
I know.
Although, Dreamforce is right around the corner, and Salesforce Plus is a big part of that. But if you just look at your face, you'd be like, the sun is nice.
Well, it's good for the ego to come on this call because that was quite the introduction, Paul. Thank you for that.
That's why people come to the show.
I never lie. The good news is I never lie.
Well, I appreciate the intro, but yeah, we're having fun over here, and yeah, we're 20 some odd days to Dreamforce, so we're excited.
But who's counting, right?
I am counting.
You're counting you're counting by the second. So, okay, it's 20 days, 13 hours, 14 minutes, and 3 seconds, 2
I'm
seconds,
not quite
1
there,
second,
yes.
13 minutes. Right, getting down.
So this is kind of the start of year 3 for Salesforce Plus, isn't it? Because the first time we talked to you, it was just getting started. I think it was like July of 2021.
Yeah.
Then we talked to you last year, right before Dreamforce, to see how things are progressing and to kind of get a glimpse into how Salesforce Plus was going to be a part of Dreamforce.
Yeah.
So year 3, now you're 2 years in. Tell us a little bit about where things stand right now. And one of the things I'm really interested in is, now that you have 2 years, is what surprised you about doing Salesforce Plus? What things that maybe you went into 2 years ago thinking this, and 2 years later it's like, oh hell, it wasn't that at all.
Yeah. Well, I think we kind of know what we're doing now a little bit. At the beginning, when we started, we really were making it up as we were going along. Let's be honest. As with anything, the idea was sparked from what's happening in the consumer world. That's how we started Salesforce, and that's what Salesforce Plus was a kernel of an idea that really brought together the power we were seeing at the time from Peloton, and looking at the power of Netflix and whatnot. And we really wanted to capture some of that energy with our brand. And so we created Salesforce Plus, and we put it together. I think the last time we chatted, the first time we chatted, we were 4 months in, and we were duct tape and chewing gum a platform together. And we were pretty happy, but we didn't know if it was going to work or not. And, here we are 2 years later. We kind of know what we're doing now. We've learned a ton along the way. And, I think obviously the world has changed materially since we spoke in 2021 as well, right? Everything's been turned upside down. So we had to think about Dreamforce a little differently, or think about Salesforce Plus differently. And those inspiration points of Peloton and Inflex are still there. But of course, the streaming market has changed drastically, hasn't it? We see prices going through the roof with streaming platforms. It's really interesting when you see companies trying to find ways to afford content. The Netflixes of the world, the Disney Pluses of the world, like they're raising prices. We're a free platform, so we don't have that same lever. So we're really looking at the quality of the content to come through our sort of events along the way. So to answer your question, and Brent, in a roundabout way, events have become the primary way we generate content for this platform. It's been said with Salesforce that we are an events company that might just sell software on the side. It is, we take our events pretty seriously, and we're really using the platform to help draw additional attention to those events, to really think about global scale. One of the things I'm most proud of, and the biggest thing we've learned, is the global scale of Salesforce Plus. Really, Dreamforce itself, we've always been proud of the global attendance we've been able to attend, or we've been able to attract. Before the pandemic or before Salesforce Plus, we would, have 20 to 30 different countries represented on the campus, which we were very proud of, and we used to sing from the rooftops. Last year at Dreamforce, we had 134 different countries watch Dreamforce on Salesforce Plus.
Wow.
So you start to see the global scale that we can articulate and really just reach new audiences, reach different audiences with more depth. And not only are we proud of that number, the thing I'm most proud of is, we walked into this thinking we need a platform that can generate eyeballs and interest, and really think about scale. So I think we've done a lot of those things well, and learned lessons along the way. Of course, the average watch time during our events is over 2 hours.
Jeez.
And I'm extremely proud of that.
150, amazing.
It's 2.5 hours, actually, 154 minutes on average. So we're starting to learn a ton. And the good news is, what that's telling me is that the quality of the content is there, and people are willing to hang around and learn. So I think that's something we're real proud of. But we're still learning. This is an ever evolving market, and we get a chance to show the world what we're doing again in 20 days.
So what's happened with I remember you had that, if I remember correctly, you had that show you had a couple of shows that were up for Emmys, and then you had the show that was based on entrepreneurs and things like that. What's the status of all the shows?
Real fun. I mean, we've won over 50 awards for the content we've generated globally.
Wow.
So it's just amazing to see the partners we've been able to bring to the table. It used to be a lot of us dialing for dollars, trying to figure out who would do content with us, and now they're calling us, which is exciting. So I think we've been able to prove, partnerships with CNBC and Fortune. Some of our original content, like Trailblazers, has been massively award winning. We've won Content Marketing of the Year two out of the 3 years we've been in the running, and we finished second the third year. So I was pissed about that. But we're still learning a lot of lessons. The attention span of humans, you probably see this with your own programming here, is shorter than it's ever been. So the content's getting shorter and shorter, more punchy, more literal, more articulate, more practitioner heavy. But we're still finding ways to do content like the Ecopreneurs, which is the way we kind of let our values shine a little bit in the company. Salesforce, you have spent a lot of time with us, both of you, and we're a values-driven company, and we like to take the opportunity to kind of shine a light on what that looks like, not just from Salesforce's perspective, but shining a light on some really incredible companies that are doing really great work in the world, and using our platform to tell those stories is really enlightening for us and really fulfilling for us. So that's been helpful, and been really great to see the viewership of those series really take off as well.
Let's go back to that 2 hours of.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
because that's astounding.
The team validated it for me 3 times. Like that. But
because I'm guessing when your marketers hear numbers like that, they're like, "Well, how can we get some?" Yeah. And I know it's, I remember we talked about this 2 years ago. Like the relationship between Salesforce Plus and marketing. There are definitely some synergies, but there are also some things I'm sure marketing wants that you're like, well, nah, it's probably not the best for the viewing audience, at least not right now. How's the relationship change with what you guys are doing and with your internal marketing folks, particularly when you get traction like that?
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't look at it as an either or I think, it's all one motion, right? So I'm a leader in our marketing department. I'm responsible for Dreamforce as well. So we got to think about how those two things come together. And we're looking at using Salesforce Plus or any of our channels as a scale platform for that content, a scale platform for that efforts. And so we would look at Salesforce Plus as a scale vehicle for us. And I try to, I think the team and I try to keep the bar for quality pretty high, to make sure that a measure of success is average watch time. And so we're making sure that with our events that if something is far less than that time frame I shared with you for events, it's a good indication that maybe it wasn't the right content, or it wasn't helpful, or it wasn't articulate enough, or it didn't strike the right chord. And so I think that that's something we watch very closely. But as I mentioned, the world's back and we're going strong. And so the in-person events side of it is stronger than ever. We've got great demand for Dreamforce. We're excited to see hopefully both of you in Moscone Center in San Francisco here in 20 days. I'm still threatening to walk you around, but we haven't had a chance to make it.
No.
Yeah, we haven't met face to face.
We've never met face to face, which
No.
I'm sure Kathleen can help us with that behind the scenes.
Yes. That'd be perfect.
So yeah, we should probably do that. But I really think about Salesforce Plus is just part of that marketing motion, and it's any role in marketing. It doesn't matter if you any level, any area of the marketing department. We're storytellers. We're here to tell the story of Salesforce, and that can happen through a myriad of ways. And Salesforce Plus is just a wonderful storytelling platform to do that.
So what's kind of if you're being, let's say you can be as optimally ambitious as you want, given your current knowledge, we'll give it a guardrail. Sure. What do you want to do that you're not doing? And it could be just a whole other way of looking at something or doing something. But what do you want to do that you're not doing, given your current state of knowledge of the world? What is it that you really would like to do that you're just currently not?
Yeah. I'm going to get myself in trouble with my team
That's
here a little bit. Again, yeah, we'll keep it for us, right? I'm a big believer. We've invested heavily in the Trailhead platform within Salesforce, right? It's a huge free learning environment for Salesforce and soft skills. I think that the opportunity to bring together video and learning like that in one environment is really interesting. I think that when you look at what a masterclass has done, or if you look at these educational platforms, I think that the way people learn is through video in many cases now. I see my daughter practicing her dance moves with YouTube all day long, and I see that and I see, okay, there's learnings in that. So I do think that the opportunity for broader educational surface areas is really interesting in this too. So not only are we doing really interesting content that gets people on the platform for 2.5 hours, but how do we give people quick learning? You see the popularity of TikTok, you see the popularity of Instagram stories and whatnot. How do we think about the platform in a bit more quick learning environments? One of the things we just launched on Salesforce Plus is an Ask More of AI podcast with Clara Shih, who both of you probably know. And first off, she's amazing. Truly.
Ask her about Facebook CRM.
Okay.
She wrote the book on it, didn't she?
There we go.
Well, no, there never ended up being a Facebook CRM, but ask her about it.
Okay. Well, I'm spending a lot of time with Clara right now as we prepare.
I've known her since then. Let's say that.
Nice. So we're spending a lot of time thinking about what does short, quick blasts of content look like. And not that we're going to go develop a TikTok competitor, but I do think that people's attention spans are shorter. So how are we thinking about, especially in AI and what's happening now, an opportunity to kind of get a little quicker? So the events are what they are, and we have incredible events. We're very proud of the work we do and the content we generate from them. But also I think there's a whole new way of learning, and I think that's really interesting to me. I'm also looking at it more deeply embedded in the marketing we do. So we just have launched a recent brand campaign that my team wrote with Matthew McConaughey called Ask More of AI, and really kind of positioning Salesforce as the trusted enterprise AI player, and really connecting things like big scale brand marketing to learning and education, and really kind of closing the loop between content and advertising. I think there's a lot of learning there too. So, we could talk about this for days, but education is a big lens for me, and then thinking about the type of content on the platform as well.
So let me throw. Oh, well, go ahead.
I was going to say, isn't that the name of the series that Claire is working on? Ask More from AI, something like that. That's
More of
interesting.
it. Yeah.
So you're a marketer at your heart. That's your main thing. But over the last 3 years, you have evolved into like a network programming head of sorts. So how has that changed your approach to marketing? How has that additional content producer, I think we called you the Cecil B. DeMille, but it's probably not that. How has that changed the way that you approach marketing?
Yeah, I will touch on Paul's comment from earlier. It is a great team. It is a great organization. They're the one leading it. You're fine to make me the figurehead of it, but there's a world-class team. I think my role within Salesforce, I've been at the company 12 years. This is my 13th Dreamforce, so hopefully it goes well. Lucky 13. And I came from a consumer background. I was at Red Bull before I joined Salesforce, and so I've always had this ability to look at the consumer world and look at human behavior and look at what that looks like and try to find ways for that to work in the enterprise. And Salesforce has only solidified that for me, that the answers are generally in human behavior, not like business to business purchasing behavior. And, there's some companies out there that many people think that I would turn to become inspired by. I saw your previous quiz was sponsored by one of our competitors. I think that there's other companies out there that are probably great marketing organizations, all the large peers of Salesforce, but I don't turn to them for marketing inspiration. That's not what drives us. We're looking at more consumer brands. We're inspired by the Nikes of the world. We're inspired by Apple. We're inspired by the Netflix and the Pelotons of the world. And
Right there with you.
we try to model ourselves a little bit more in that direction. And that's where things
absolutely with you.
And that's, for me, the most interesting part is we're all humans. We're just humans. And we purchase products and we purchase things in the same ways that consumers do. Right. You have to build trust. You have to be thinking about mind share. You have to be thinking about, are you first top of mind when a situation comes about or a buying situation arrives? That's a behavioral science thing that consumer marketers think about, and we try to think about at Salesforce in the same way.
So taking that, because I'm 1,000% with you. In fact, our little baby here, PPN side of it is geared toward C, so to speak, as opposed to B per se.
Yeah.
We're totally geared in that direction. So let me sort of throw out a completely other direction for you guys, and it kind of segues off of Brent's Cecil B. DeMille thing, which is which is making movies, making films, making it could be documentaries, could be not, but it still could be educational. It still could be, but it could be indie short film equivalents. But have you guys thought about, like, for example, and then toot our own horn a little bit, next year we are actually going to, should things continue to go as they are, and they're going pretty well, we're actually going to film a documentary.
That's great.
Right? 30 minutes. I won't go into the subject now, but but that's a documentary. But have you ever considered short films or a full-length movie? Or you're in effect, Echopreneur is documentaries, sequence, but have you considered that as let's call it a division of Salesforce Plus, or is that just not in the picture?
Yeah, I don't think we're too far from it. And now I think when you look at the types of content we're creating, we have dabbled a little bit. We've done the history of sales before, which was almost a feature-length documentary in that sense. In the past, we're actually in the middle of producing a little bit more of a. Do you remember the Apple film, the Knowledge Navigator film from the 80s? It was amazing. One of the most prolific short films that articulated the future, what the future would look like, and I'll send it to you. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we kind of wrote that, something similar we're filming now, of like what does 2030 look like, or 2040 look like from an enterprise software perspective. And so we're actually producing this now for Dreamforce. And so just things like that are just more intriguing. And so as with anything, we just try to keep ourselves fresh in what the world is looking for. The types of content is becoming shorter than ever, but every once in a while, you can strike gold with a little bit more of a traditional style. A great example of that is our Ask More of AI campaign that we have now. We partnered with McConaughey and did some amazing work, and we're proud of the work we put out. What actually got the most fanfare was a traditional print ad in the New York Times.
Well, that, you know what? it goes to trust, man. People trust that source. They always have.
Yeah. So
I'm the only newspaper I actually do trust.
There we go. Well, we targeted one person at least. Good.
You got me. You got me.
Yes. Gotcha. So hopefully you saw it.
You say it in the New York Times.
But no, I think the documentary thing is really interesting. We did a reality show. If I remember last time we were on the call, we talked about our reality show with CNBC called The Shift.
Yeah.
Which tons of success on that. And we were both NBC and Salesforce was very happy with that. So more to come on that front in the near future. But there's some fun work that we've done.
Did you ever look at Corning's famous, it's a 3-minute ad, but it's called Day Made of Glass. Have you ever looked at that?
I don't think I have. No.
Okay, I'll send you the link to that. That is, I've used it in my advisory work for years because it's a very visionary, a visionary ad. It basically says, here is all the things we produce. It's a product marketing, really. It's product marketing video, but it's a genius. Here are all the things we produce. Here is a day in the near future, which is now actually almost current future, almost present. But here's a day in the future, which is still a relatable day that our glass is being used throughout this whole thing. And it's a day in the life of a family from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep. There isn't a word spoken. It's only music. There isn't a word. The only text you see is when a certain kind of glass is being used. It mentions the name of the glass and has maybe 3 little adjectives about it. And that's it. And this garnered, I don't know, probably by now 100 million views. I mean, it's real. Not the version. The second one is not as good. I'll send you the link, but watch that first one. It's a huge lesson in how you put together day in the life videos, right? Which are remarkable. To your point, when you said what it would be software 2030, blah, blah, blah. If it's running through a human being's life in the day, Microsoft did one back in 2011 like that when alliance with Samsung. It was really, really well done. Same idea is it's visionary and it's futuristic, but it involves real things that you can relate to, right? And so if you can see it, you go, yeah, I can see that. And that's all you need. Ultimately, you got that and you got it. Somebody goes, yeah, I can see that. You got them. That's one of the powers that Mark always had was when he would speak, people could envision themselves in it, whatever it was. And that's why I think it's also why you have such a strong brand presence now, because that's how you guys clearly think too. I think it's evolved.
We do have a
mind blowing
for sure.
Hey, so before we let you go, you got to tell us what role is Salesforce Plus playing in this year's Dreamforce? How's it kind of evolving? And does Gen AI have any role in how you guys are using Salesforce Plus with Dreamforce?
I'm so excited about this. I have all kinds of fun stuff to share. So with this, yes, actually. So Salesforce Plus is the central figure for Dreamforce this year. Clearly, it's our scale engine. You'll see 160,000. We're anticipating about 160,000 people registering to watch it on Salesforce Plus. Even more on social networks as well. So we're excited about it. We're programming a big chunk of our content is Salesforce Plus specific or exclusive to. So really focus on that. So we'll continue to double down on this one. You'll see it front and center. And AI clearly we have 75 plus AI visionaries. We've got Sam Altman, Darius Amade, we've got Dr. Fei-Fei Li, we've got unbelievable CEOs of all the major AI players. It's been amazing to see the pickup we've had there. So AI is front and center. We're actually doing something with our own technology too, where one of the biggest complaints we get from Dreamforce is just too much content. Our attendees can't see it all at once. Yeah. And so we have Einstein generating session summaries for all the sessions in real time as well. So we upload the audio of the session into our service. It generates a session summary through Einstein GPT, our generative AI service, and publishes it to the platform within an hour or so. Amazing to see what that really does from a scale perspective. So just little things like that, just reducing some of the feedback we get from the conference, really learning along the way, and making sure that our attendees, both online on Salesforce Plus and in person in Moscone Center there in San Francisco, have the best possible experience. And we've taken a lot of the learnings from Salesforce Plus actually and brought them into the in-person experience, where we've talked a lot about in these conversations where we've been generating a lot to solve for the people that weren't able to attend Dreamforce because of the pandemic or something. Now it's just, it's just too large of a conference now to be really held in one place. So really thinking about Salesforce Plus as a scale vehicle for this, but and encouraging a lot of that into the Dreamforce experience as well for in-person, and thinking about what the mobile app experience is and connecting the mobile app to Salesforce Plus, and really kind of cross-platform connection there has been a really big focus for us. And then shorter content. Shorter content. You've probably seen many Dreamforce keynotes in the past. Keynote will be roughly the third the length that you're used to. I think you're tighter, which I'm sure is welcomed for many people. You're going to see a lot of, just instead of having 30 and 60-minute sessions, there's going to be some 10-minute sessions in there. It's going to be
nice. I was taking the Ray Wang, the 5-minute workshop.
Yes, exactly. So just learning from human behavior, as we said before, and Salesforce Plus really, really highly performant on mobile now. That's been a big focus for us. We dabbled with the idea of mobile apps for Salesforce Plus. We kind of chose to make the mobile web a lot stronger experience. Authentication. Last time I was on, we talked about friction a lot.
Right.
Reducing friction materially, because we know enterprise software companies are pretty poor at that. And so just learning from it. And watching what Netflix has done, Disney Plus has done. There's a lot of great examples, people that are really showing us the way, and just trying to be, like a sponge with all the learnings we can.
Are there any newer things that have caught your attention? And because you mentioned Netflix and Disney, the very first, totally makes sense. Anything new out there that has kind of made you say, we need to think about this?
Yeah, I mentioned TikTok earlier, not because, as I mentioned, we're going to find that model, but just looking at the way people are learning now is so different. And so really thinking about really hyper short content that is pointed and thoughtful. So I think there's a lot there that you won't see us debut too much of this at Dreamforce, but you'll see dabbles of it. We're doing with Clara that podcast, the sort of recorded podcast you mentioned, much like your format here. But we're learning a lot there in terms of what that might be, and really just quick return, not so highly produced content. I think that speed wins the day. And when we first started Salesforce Plus, it was very much high production value. And we still have that, but we're learning a little bit more news cycle environment, a little quicker turn content with slightly less production value has been really highly performant as well.
Amazing.
This is great. And we don't want to keep you because, well, you're kind of a busy guy, so we don't want to. Yeah, but we definitely appreciate you taking time, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you this time.
Yeah, we're gonna make it.
We'll request 1-on-1, 2-on-1 with you.
I'd love to walk you around. We've got the blue carpet rolled out for the two of you at Dreamforce, and
All right.
you get. This has been. I always enjoy the opportunity to talk about Salesforce Plus, and
it's great. We love it too. We actually do love it.
Awesome. And we don't even have to ask him the final question.
Now we got rid of that the first.
We're not
time.
a Patriots fan, so we're good.
If your allegiance changes to the Patriots, let us know.
You always rub the Rams hat, or I think last time we chatted, you were.
Well, 2021 we won. 2022 we weren't that great. 2023, I'm looking at like video from 50 years ago, because that's
hard to hang on to the past, Brent. Hard to hang on to the past.
Awesome. Hey, Colin, once again, thanks again, and congrats to you and the team.
Yes,
on all the success, because it's been fun watching. Me and Paul are. You might not know, but if you go to playersproductions.network, you might see a bit of a familiar look and feel.
Well, we picked from Netflix and you guys as how we asked our website developer to develop our website. Playersproductions.network. Go look.
Awesome. All right, I'll check it out. All the best to both of you. Thank you.
All right, my friend. Take care.
Take care.
Awesome as always.
So, on behalf of Colin Fleming, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
And we can't ever say goodbye until we say hello to Minnie.
Minnie, hopefully we'll be seeing you in a few weeks.
See ya.